Amaterasu is known as the chief god within the Shinto religion. She is the sun goddess and holds the head seat of heaven. This makes her unique among the gods of the world, as there are few female sun gods. This fact alone comes from an interesting feature in the history of the Shinto religion and Japanese history as a whole. In this video essay, we will discuss Amaterasu and how her story and Japanese history intertwine. To do this, we will briefly cover the cultural combination that led to the formation of the Shinto religion. Next, we will move on to Amaterasu and her high role among the Shinto gods. After having established this foundation, we move on to analyzing how Amaterasu's story connects to Japanese history. Shinto is a religion deeply tied to the past of Japan. It originates from the syncretism of two cultures. These are the Yomon and Yayoi cultures, the Yomon being the people native to the Japanese islands, and the Yayoi coming from the body of Asia across the Korean peninsula around the 1st or 2nd century CE. The Yomon culture was quite equal. It was common for women to serve as shamans, leading rituals and holding commendable power and respect. Conversely, the Yayoi brought with them Taoist, Confucian, and Buddhist beliefs, which, as a whole, led to their culture being much more patriarchal. Together, these unique cultures created the Shinto religion as we know it today. With the foundational knowledge of this cultural combination, we can lead to part of Amaterasu's unique position. Alright, now it's time to talk about the goddess herself, Amaterasu. Amaterasu was born to the gods Izanagi and Izanami, husband, wife, and parents to many of the Shinto gods. These gods are known as kami and are divine manifestations of natural forces. After they established the world and the islands of Japan, they gave rise to Amaterasu. From the moment she was born, she shone with a brilliance that was immediately set for the role of God in the universe. She reigns in the heavens as the goddess of the sun and universe. She is told as having brought the people of Japan the silkworm and staple crops such as rice and beans. Overall, she holds a very important role with many responsibilities. Now, where it gets really interesting is the historical nuances that tie back to Amaterasu. Beyond the Shinto stories of Amaterasu, there's quite a nuanced story to be had. One of the earliest and most notable mentions of Amaterasu playing a role in human actions is in Empress Jingu's possession by Amaterasu. The story goes that around 200 CE, she possessed Empress Jingu and led Japan to invade the Korean peninsula. Taking a step back from the religious aspect, it's most likely that the possession of Amaterasu was just a justification by the Empress to invade Korea. In fact, the story itself is quite controversial, as it was used as a justification by Japanese leaders in the 1900s to invade Korea. Another nuance in the story and history of Amaterasu is brought up by Konoyu Nakamura in her paper Goddess Politics, Analytical Psychology and Japanese Myth. In her paper, she raises the idea that Amaterasu was not always the chief sun god in Japan. She posits that around 404 CE, due to the defeat at the Korean peninsula, the Yamato imperial court decided they needed to rearrange their military, political, and religious systems. She claims that there was a major revision to the gods in the 5th century, where a male sun god named Takami Musubi no Kami was imported from Korea and set as the head. At the same time, the shamanistic aspects of Shinto were being revised and reduced. She continues saying, at this time, Amaterasu was only known as Ohohirome no Muchi, or the local sun goddess in ice. She didn't hold the role as the head sun god until the 7th century. This lines up quite well to 660 CE with the rise of Emperor Jimmu, who claimed divine authority as a direct descendant of Amaterasu. Not only that, but the writing of Kojiki, Records of Ancient Matters, was finished in 712 CE. It would not be unreasonable to assume that the politics of the time influenced the writing of the myth to elevate Amaterasu and to reorder it to be preferential to the new dynasty. No matter how it was, though, Amaterasu has played a major role in Japanese history. From the origin of Shinto to the modern day, the effects of her story and her unique status as a female sun god have had a major impact on the world around us today.